Sebastian, like the top.
Thank you.
What's the top?
Bogey Boys. It's a golf brand. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that you're enjoying the golf, you're enjoying everything here. You're going to enjoy a second cup final this year now as well. Felt like a very professional performance from the team tonight. Never easy to play a team from another league, a lower level league as well. How did you see that one play out? You seemed to really get on it early on and then just not ease off.
Yeah, I think that's something we emphasized the whole week. They know that we know they have nothing to lose, so we just came out there and try to just play our game and not worry about what they're doing, just focus on us. And in the end, it worked well.
You've got a couple of Cup Winners' medals already from this championship and a Voyagers Cup lifted as well. What does it mean to you to now put yourself in history if you can get the four-peat here?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good accomplishment. It's something that, when I first got to the club, it was a priority of the club to win the Canada Cup, and now, going for the fourth time is pretty cool. So, yeah, I think anytime you're in the final, you want to win it, so hopefully you can go out there and get it done.
Sebastian, take us through the PK.
Yeah, just felt like I was going to go down the middle. So, I just was confident in what I was going to do and just, struck it well.
Talk to us about the team's performance as a whole tonight, because there's a few guys in the lineup who don't get the same kind of starting minutes that others might get, but had great performances tonight. I'm thinking specifically about JC. I'm thinking about a guy like Laborda who comes on and makes a pretty good impact at the end. What did you see of guys stepping up tonight?
Yeah, I think we've had that all year. I think that's what's made us good this whole year is that guys have always stepped up, and I think Jesper's done a good job of preparing guys being ready. I think JC had a great game, and we're going to need him a lot, especially down the stretch. And guys like Jeevan starting and played really well, and he's taken another step this year for sure. Guys all over the pitch, Tate Johnson, same thing. Trying to find games and again done well. So I think everyone's ready for when they're called upon, and I feel like we've been doing that the whole year.
And mentioned about Ryan Alumi, just 2 games in, already making an impact. Like, what do you see from him?
Yeah, he's a player. He's a good player, and to be honest, I remember watching him against Columbus, and at that point, I don't think he trained the first team, and I didn't even know who he was yet, and now to see that he's a player that, can come on and bring an impact is incredible. 17-year-old kid, he's a really good player. Got to keep him humble still and, make sure he still works hard and does the right things, but yeah, he's a good player.
And just shifting the focus now back to MLS, just how do you approach the game in Kansas City?
Yeah, we go there and we play our game and we want to win. It's a big game, and it's always tough playing KC. I feel like they have a good atmosphere and good fans, so we want to go down there and get the 3 points.
Seb, what did it mean to you today to wear the captain's armband for the team?
Yeah, to be honest, it's a moment I've dreamt of, being a captain for this club. And since the day I arrived, it's something that, I think any kid, just young, starting with the team, hopefully one day they can get that. And it meant a lot, honestly. Just being the captain of this team, and just because I'm wearing the armband doesn't mean there aren't other guys stepping up all over the field. So it did mean a lot, and I'm just glad that we got the win.
So the final is going to be on October 1st. Vancouver Whitecaps have never played Vancouver FC. They're currently leading Ottawa in the other semifinal. What do you think that matchup would mean to maybe the city and football in Vancouver to have a Vancouver Langley final?
Yeah, I think whatever team it is, we'll be ready. Both are heard of that are good teams. So, yeah, I think Vancouver's done well for themselves to do well in the first leg, and whoever it is, we'll be ready.
Just one for me. Just talk about the mentality of the group, the way that you've responded from this 3-week break. You come out 11-0 across 2 games, yet kind of reading Jesper's face, kind of wanted more. So what's kind of like that mentality of the group right now?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're thinking too. We want to be even better, and it's tough because we have, I think, high expectations on ourselves. So we want to always score more goals, be cleaner, and I think that's what Jesper instills in us. And I think you can see over these last 2 games we weren't satisfied. We weren't satisfied with a couple goals. We wanted to keep going. So it's been good, and it's something that we got to keep just keep working, and we know that when it comes to crunch time, the margins get a little bit slimmer. So when it comes to that, we'll be ready.
Yeah, to that, Sebastian, for all the chances you actually probably created over the 2 games, to the one you think of the ones that didn't come out with a cutting edge, do you think specifically and in detail, just getting that cutting edge to get it right and sharp to really maximize the amount of chances that you're creating? If you're now in the rhythm where you're going to create a lot of chances in the game, is going to be the ultimate thing here that's going to lead to a success at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think there aren't a lot of teams that have scored 11 goals in 2 games. I think that's something that's it shouldn't be understated, that putting the ball in the goal 11 times is hard to do. But I think the biggest thing is getting the chances, and we've done that, and guys are getting good positions, and I think that's the most important, whether it's going in or not. I think the most important thing that guys are getting positions, and then again we scored 11 goals, so it's I feel like we're in a good spot.
Just to follow up on that, is it also sort of putting the opposition's backline or them defensively under a level of stress that very much then eventually opens up to chances that you can convert? Is that almost a big aspect of what you're trying to achieve here, that you're putting the opposition through quite a bit of pressure there in their defensive third by the way that you've been able to attack them?
Yeah, I think so. I think setting them down, and that's something that Jesper talks about. When we get in their half, really making them work for it, and not just going 100 miles per hour, like being able to move them around and really find that final pass or that final action. So yeah, I think the more you do that, the more teams kind of get almost hopeless. And if you just keep beating them down, I think that's when the chances start to come.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you.